Hello and welcome to Bear Cub the Beast.
This is my Bear Cub Paul.
This is my Beast on in. Hello.
Hello.
And we are here again giving you all the tea and the goss and the voices of the bear community and the LGBT community and beyond. And don't forget to subscribe and like and follow us so that you can find out what's going on. We're here normally every other Thursday, although we are a little bit late this week.
Yeah.
But to be fair, and we're really sorry, we're sorry that we're late this week. We've not been very well.
Yeah, both of us.
Yeah.
At first we thought it was kind of COVID, but it wasn't. It was plain germs.
It was just normal germs, yeah. And it wasn't the same thing at all.
Can I eat online? Like when...
Apparently. Just stuff in your face.
Okay,
It's a bear
only,
podcast. You can kind of stuff your face.
The last one.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So, yeah, we've been sick. We've been ill.
You had a bit of a tummy thing. I was just like, I think I was just exhausted. Like, I think I was just completely knackered, like shattered, like gone.
To be fair, I never seen you like that. I know you like you can put Aurora Sleeping Beauty in a contest. You can take her.
Yeah. Like
seriously.
But see, the problem is that I sleep very well usually. Like I'm very good. Normally, 98% of the time, I go to bed, head hits the pillow, zonk, I'm gone.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Completely gone.
Completely, like 3 minutes.
And I'm not to be woken. Again, in fact, at your peril, would you wake me? Like I'm not very nice.
Don't you have like a 5-hour limit or something? Like there is a time that you wake up?
No. You
can just continue until something wake you up?
I generally wake up around the same time, regardless of when I fall asleep. So if I fall asleep at 6 or I fall asleep at 12, I generally still wake up at 5 or 6.
Even if you went to sleep at 2 o'clock in the morning, you will wake up at 5.
Yeah.
I have the same thing, but with 5 hours. Like if I will go to sleep after 5 hours, I'm gonna.
You're awake.
Yeah, I'm gonna. I'm not sure awake, but I'm going to wake up.
Yeah.
I can go back to sleep, but yeah.
See, my problem is that I can't go back to sleep. So if I'm asleep, I'm asleep, and that's great. And then I don't wake up, and then I cannot be woken. But if I wake up, like so today, for example, I woke up at like 3:30, and then basically didn't go back to sleep. And my problem really is that.
But you fell asleep again.
For like an hour or something. Just like I guess I kind of topped it up for an hour, but I can't, like, if I wake up and I've still got 4 hours to sleep, I just can't.
Really?
Yeah.
No, not me.
It's like and if I don't sleep, like if I can't sleep like for 1 or 2 nights, I go a little bit crazy, and then I'm like on edge and I can't breathe properly, and it's a bit mad. Like if I don't sleep for like a night or two,
this is
I go a bit manic.
When I want to go to visit my mom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of what happened, is that I was like, had some kind of issue with sleeping, and I was just
so supportive.
like for a week. Yeah, thanks. But we're very different when we're sick.
You're
very. I'm like
save me.
I'm very needy when I'm sick. I need to be looked after, and I need like a little bell. Like,
this is why I don't give you a bell.
And then you're the opposite. You're like a golden retriever who sort of leaves home to die under a tree.
I'm just like, leave me the fuck alone.
Close the door.
Ask how I am every an hour or two. Ask if I want tea or something.
Make sure you're not dead.
That's it. Like, show care, but don't be clingy.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you are like my mom, like my brother. You're like the drama queen. Like,
I'm not a
oh,
drama queen.
oh, ah.
I'm just sick. I'm not good at. I'm not really. I'm not very good at being sick. Like I'm not good. I don't like being ill. It doesn't happen that often. I'm not sick that much.
No, you're not. You're not.
So it's like when it
In
does
general,
happen.
I don't think we're sick a lot.
No, we're not. We're not.
Usually we're
poorly
sick.
people.
Usually when we are sick when we are going to any kind of bear event and
we get bear flu.
Get the bear flu. Yeah.
But and bear flu affects me really badly. If anyone doesn't know what bear flu is, if you're in the bear community, you probably do. But like if you ever go to any bear events, at some point, either during the event or after the event, every single person at that event will get bear flu.
Yeah.
Because there's lots of swapping.
Yeah, when we've been
space.
to Provincetown, it was after. When we've been to Maspalomas, it was during.
Yeah. I always get it.
Yeah.
I don't know what that says about it, really. Yeah, so I was sick. So we're really sorry. That's why this is coming out kind of a bit late. But we have a very cool guest coming up.
Tell me more.
We have the very sexy Jesse Colt, who is he's an adult entertainer.
I do know Jesse.
You do, and we met him on holiday and hung out, and he was very nice, and he was nice enough to come and say hello and talk about his kind of journey into the adult industry.
Mm-hmm.
Which kind of brings us on to our main topic of the day, which is porn.
What?
So porn. So we're talking about porn.
Porn. It reminds me the story of the sleeping and the hours. When I was younger, there used to be like in a private cable, there used to be adult films like at 2 o'clock in the night, and I wanted to watch. And because of my 5 hours gap that I fall asleep,
you knew that.
I knew that I need to wake up at that time, so I used to go to sleep like at 9 o'clock to wake up at 2 o'clock so I can quietly turn on the TV
and watch porn.
There
was porn, like proper porn on the television. Really?
Straight porn.
We never had that in the UK. Not like that.
Yeah.
Not even on like cables. Well, I never really had cable when we were kids because my dad would never let us get it. I had a similar thing happen to me, which made me break my nose. Do you know how I broke my nose?
Porn, is it?
It's not. It wasn't porn. So when I was so I think I was like 13. I definitely wasn't older. I was like 12 or 13, and there used to be. It wasn't porn. There used to be like on Channel 4 in England. There used to be a program called Daytime TV, and then afterwards there was another one called Glasgow Kiss. Glasgow Kiss is a bit of a. It's for non-British people. Glasgow Kiss is a double entendre because a Glasgow Kiss is a headbutt. It's like slang for a headbutt. A Glasgow Kiss, you know. Anyway, but this was about the gay community in Glasgow, and anyway, I really wanted to watch it, but they used to put these gay programs. It wasn't even particularly sexual. It was just a normal program, but because it was gay and it was like 1995 or something. It was put on at like 4 o'clock in the morning on Channel 4 because Channel 4 were the only channel who would ever put something like this on. They were also the ones who put on Queer as Folk in '99. And so what I did was I must have been 13 because I had my clever television. So I used to put on my TV, and there was you could put a timer to wake you up. And so because I sleep very quietly, to wake me up is difficult. So I wanted to wake myself up. So I put the TV on really loudly, right? So it was like I would go up mute, and then up and then turn it off. And I wanted it to wake me up at like 3 o'clock in the morning. And I used to have a cabin bed when I was a kid, until I was 13, 14, right, which was like this high off the ground.
Okay.
And so anyway, so it comes to 3 o'clock in the morning, and the TV blares on like this, and I like panic because of course gay shit's going to come on TV in a minute, and I panic and I'm looking for the remote control. I can't find the remote control, so in a panic, I leant across the TV. I went bonk, and I crunched head first because I was trying to lean over to the TV, and I fell on my face, and it went, and that's why my nose does this. And because it was because of gay shit, I never told my parents, so I broke my nose, bled everywhere, and I was in so much pain for like months, and I never told them because I couldn't work out how to explain to them that I wanted to, the whole story. So yeah.
Oh wow! So you just didn't go to the doctor?
So I just didn't go to the doctor. No. I just suffered.
When did you go?
Never. That's why it's still broken. Look, I can't. Yeah, and then push harder.
I'm not gonna push it.
Push harder like that.
Oh god.
Have you never noticed that my nose is wonky?
Well, it's not that bad, but maybe this is why you're snoring.
Do you know? First of all, thank you for outing me as a terrible snorer, but also, that's a really good point. I never thought of that.
Really? Okay.
Huh.
Okay.
So, revelations here on Bear Cub the Beast.
Okay.
So we're supposed to be talking about porn.
Porn, yes.
So you...
Do you like porn? Obviously you do, because...
I've never seen porn.
No.
No, yeah, I like porn.
What do you do when you're
like
sick?
Porn. I like porn. I like very like amateur stuff that lasts for just like a few minutes. I don't like I don't need a story, you know?
Why? Story is hot.
Yeah.
A plumber go to fix the sink.
Yeah.
Laying on the ground.
No, I don't care about that. I'm not.
No?
No, I'm not. I don't care.
Someone
Get
come
it
to
done.
Fix the lamp.
Yeah.
He's on a ladder.
Yeah.
Pull the ladder.
No, I just don't. I'm like in, out, let's get cracking. You know, like and I get very bored very quickly. So if I'm watching something and then I'll fast forward it to the next bit, fast forward to the next bit, fast forward to the end, next one done, and then I'll go to the. I don't like to watch anything for longer than like. I think it's my ADHD.
No, I'm not saying that I'm going to watch the whole session, but I do like kind of a storyline.
Mm-hmm.
I like everything, I think. So I like porn. I like amateur stuff. I like a storyline. I like various of body types.
Yeah, that's true. Very. I mean, you know, I tend to skew older and berry, but not always. I don't know. What do you guys like? Tell us what you like. Write in the comments and send us emails and suggestions and things like that. Tell us what kind of stuff you like. We'd like to know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm very varied, and I go in different waves and different phases of things. But generally, I'm less.
Are you a lone watcher or?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, like, would you like to watch porn with someone, or
like with you?
Like, we'd meet an idea as a couple.
I mean, sure. It doesn't really get me. I don't know. I'm very like get it done. And if it's going on in the background, fine. But I'm not really paying attention to it anyway.
All right.
So it's not. Um, yeah,
Okay.
but I like it. You know.
Okay. No, I think it's more of a private thing for me.
Yeah.
Um, like a bedtime story.
Mm.
I know all the princess stories, so now
It's not exactly Disney.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Well, we'll find out a bit more
Yeah.
about the
How do you
backside. I was going to
how
say
the backside? Yeah.
the backstage. What do you say? Like behind the scenes. We're going to find out a little bit more behind the scenes stuff because we're going to speak to Jesse, and he's going to tell us about how he got into it, which is quite recent actually.
Yeah, I wonder because when we met him, he didn't.
He did. He was.
Oh,
He was
okay.
right at the beginning of doing it.
Okay. I wonder.
But it's quite an interesting story because a lot of people start very young and then they kind of just grow into it and grow up. And also, I think that there's something about a lot of people are getting more into it since like Twitter and OnlyFans and JustFans. I think during COVID, a lot of people got into it because they wanted to make some money if they couldn't, especially if they couldn't work.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we're going to be back soon. We'll be talking to the very sexy Jesse Colt after this break. All the way from California, one of our favourite adult entertainers is with us to talk about his foray into filmmaking. A relatively new kid on the block, but in a very sexy Jesse Colt is with us today. Hi, Jesse. Woo.
How you doing?
Good. How are you guys?
We're good. We're good. We haven't seen you for a while. We haven't seen you since when did we see you?
September?
Was it September?
Like September? Yeah.
Wow. But we're going to see you in October.
Right.
Which will be fun.
Again, on another cruise.
Another cruise. It's all about the cruising. It's all about the cruising. Cool. So
Right.
thank you so much for being with us and having sitting down, having a chat with us, and spending some time with us.
That chain looks very heavy.
It is.
It looks good though. So it's like
It looks
pain is
very
beauty.
good. Yeah, but heavy.
I always joke with everybody that I'm such a good person that when I get to heaven, my crown's going to be really heavy. So I need something to build my strength up in my neck now so I can hold it up.
It's a really good idea. It's a really good idea. Yeah. Training for your halo. How's everything over in Palm Springs?
Oh, it is hot. We actually broke an all-time record the other day of 124. All-time record.
124. How much is that in normal? That's a lot. That's like
It's a lot.
50,
It's like
50.
Yeah,
It's
most
like
of America
50,
gets up to
50.
I think so.
like in the Midwest, it only gets up to like 100, maybe 105. So it's like way over the scale.
So where are you from originally? Because you're not originally from Palm Springs.
Originally Kansas.
Kansas.
No, I'm originally from Kansas and lived a lot of my life, adult life in Oklahoma. Yes.
I think
So I'm
when
a real Dorothy.
you're a Dorothy. Cool. And so how did you end up in Palm Springs?
A job brought me out here and just kind of stuck around and stayed. And I've been here, oh God, going on 12 years, I think now. So it's been a good haul. I spent my entire 40s here in California. It's been really good to me.
Yeah. Yeah. So Palm Springs isn't Palm Springs like the gayest place in the world or something? It has like the highest percentage or something.
It is. I wouldn't say it's the gayest place, but the actual city of Palm Springs where gays are a majority, not a minority. Trying to think. I think every gay person almost in the world comes through Palm Springs at one time in their life. So it's kind of funny because whenever you go, half of them are new faces that you see every week. You don't ever see them again. They're from anywhere on the West Coast of the United States, from overseas Europe, that kind of thing. So it's always a constant run through of people, which is really good for entertainers that are filming content because all the filmers and entertainers, models want to come to Palm Springs and film with all of the daddies here.
Yeah, because I guess also isn't the average age like 50 as well? It's kind of like where gay men go to die, is what it seems to
I
be.
think it's closer to 70. So if you're in your 50s
Oh
like
wow.
me, like I'm in my just turned 50 last year.
You're basically a
So
twink at this point.
so like 50, I'm still a little sperm or something. I mean, I'm still a chicken, I guess. I was saying that.
Yeah, yeah. So,
I never knew Palm Springs was so gay. And
Very gay.
like,
yeah,
we live in a very gay city. Like, the population here is about 30% of the
Wow.
population is LGBTQIA plus.
Wow.
But yeah, so I was quite shocked to find out like 52% of people in Palm Springs.
that's crazy.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
That's
I don't
mad.
know. I don't know who. I don't actually live in Palm Springs. I live in a neighboring city called Rancho Mirage. But
Cool. Okay.
last I knew, Palm Springs mayor was trans,
Yeah, I
which
think
is
I
I
heard
think the
that.
only one in the world. I think.
Yeah. Cool. Well, we're looking forward to visiting.
Yes.
Yeah, you'll have fun.
Yeah.
You'll be here for Pride, so you'll have fun.
Yeah. We're going to go there for Pride, and then we're going to go to
Las Vegas.
we're going to Vegas, and then
Nice.
we're going to go and see some people that I don't think you know because they were on the first cruise. They were on the same one as you. We're doing our little California dreaming tour.
Mhm.
Nice, nice.
Um,
So you've never been to California?
I've only been to LA. You've been a bit more, haven't you?
Well, I've been to California. Yeah.
Been to San Francisco.
We
Wonderful
spent
city, San Francisco.
one night in San Francisco. We took a car and then we drove to road number one all the way
Oh
to
yeah. So you
to
went through Big
LA.
Sur and up all the way up. Nice. That's a beautiful
Yeah,
area.
yeah, it
They
is.
actually closed that highway. The last big rainstorm they had up there, it all collapsed and washed the roads out. So they've got it closed indefinitely. I don't know if they're planning on fixing it or not, but I've not got to be able to do that trip yet, and I still want to. So hopefully they'll fix it and I'll be able to go.
It's very nice road.
Mm.
Yeah, and then we went to Anaheim to Disney,
Disney, yeah.
and
Not me. I wasn't
yeah,
involved in this.
and then
This is
San
pre
Diego
me.
Zoo, and then Las Vegas, and then we ended up in LA, like Universal Studio and stuff like that.
Oh, nice. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I go to LA quite often for dances. Like a bunch of buddies and I go, and there's like 20 of us that go to these big dances in LA.
How far it is?
Yeah. Actually, that's where I got my tattoo a couple weeks ago. Was it actually in West
Ah,
Hollywood?
cute. Wow.
Oh,
Looks cool. I got a tattoo as well. The new tattoo.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
So, okay. So, I say recently, it's not that recently, I suppose, but comparably, quite recently, you ended up deciding to sort of start getting your way into the adult industry, right? The adult entertainment
Right.
industry, I should say.
Right. 15 months
How,
ago.
15 months ago. Okay.
Yeah.
So not that recent, but recent enough. How did that end
Yeah.
up kind of coming about? Because, a lot of people will start in their 20s and then, pardon me, a lot of people
So
start in their
actually,
20s and then later on get into or their 30s. But, you kind of like, turned 50 and thought, sod it, I'm going to do it. What happened? What's the story?
right. So, actual studio porn that's actually shot in studio by professional studios, that's a lot more strict, and they have more scripts and things like that. Usually that is for the younger ones and sometimes the middle-aged ones, but by the time you get to be my age or a little older, they kind of start retiring you. But that's changed with Just for Fans and OnlyFans coming on. They're really starting to focus on middle-aged to older guys, and I've actually done a couple studio porns for some professional people. I've done two actually, and they were both focused towards daddies. There's a huge market out there for daddies, and whenever I say daddies, one of the studios actually looked at me and was like, "Oh, you're a little young, but we'll take you." And I was like, "Wow, I'd never heard somebody tell me that before." Like, I felt so young, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm a youngster again." But how I actually got into it is it's something that's been in the back of my mind on my bucket list. Something I thought maybe if I had the opportunity, one maybe when I retired or something, didn't have to worry about the fame and all that. But 15 months ago, I guess it was last March or April. Just for Fans has their annual conference here in Palm Springs every year. And of course, with the conference, there's actually a conference that people sit down, they tell you all the trends in the market and how to market yourself better and the latest legalities and things to watch out for to be legal. And but I was not filming at that time, and I happened to go out on a Saturday night that night, and it happened to be the Just for Fans meetup at Barracks. And I walk in and I hang out with a buddy of mine, and where I was looking around like, God, where are all these hot guys coming from? And he was like, well, it's the Just for Fans conference this weekend or this weekend. I was like, oh, cool. I was looking around. I was like, God, I'd love to have sex with some of these guys. And he said, oh, totally. You could totally have some of these guys. I'm like, no, I couldn't have some of these guys. So he said, pick anyone out here in the crowd that you'd want to have sex with and maybe even film with if you could. And I was kind of looked around. And I picked this one guy out. He just happened to be from Phoenix. And my friend grabs my hand. Well, I guess he goes over to the guy first. I'm just like, oh, shit, here we go. And so he walks over to the guy, and they chit-chat for a little bit, and then he goes like this and has me come over. And I walk over there. I'm thinking, oh, my God, what are you telling? And he looks at the guy, and the guy, he says, so tell him. And he says, and my friend says, would you film with him? And the guy looks me up and down and said, absolutely. And I was like, holy shit. And I mean, this guy was like a dream guy. So anyway, we ended up not being able to film because these models, they book their appointments like months in advance. So by the time the actual conference comes, they've got it scheduled to the hour. And so he said if he had an opening, he would have me come over, but he never did get an opening. And I still haven't filmed with him to this day because right after the conference, he retired from it for a while because he gets in and out of it. But anyway, so he's like, my friend's like, you know what? Why don't you just put something up on X or Twitter at the time? Put something up on Twitter, and if you don't have 500 followers like within a week, I lose. But if you do have 500 followers in a week, he said, I win, and you have to open it just for fans and only fans. And I did it, and I had more than 500, so I lost the bet. So basically, I got into it by losing a bet. It started off kind of slow. My very first filming was with a couple pretty known artists out there, models out there, and they tag teamed me, but I wasn't quite sure that I wanted to do it yet. So I just kind of was testing the water. So I wore a mask, and halfway through it, I just felt constricted and claustrophobic, and I took it off, and they're like, do you want us to cut? And I'm like, no, let's just keep going. I can't do it with a mask on. And they were like, okay. And so they said, we won't show your face. I'm like, you know what? Let's just do it. And so we did it. And I filmed a couple more after that. And then, but I hadn't told my partner yet that I was filming. I was kind of testing it out. And so I guess about a month later, I was at the Barracks, and a friend of mine comes up to me. He goes, hey, I saw you on a video the other day. And he described it to me. And I was like, oh, shit, I better go home and tell my partner. So I left Barracks immediately, came home and sat him down and was like, here's the deal. This is what's happening. You're probably going to hear about it. So I wanted you to hear from me first. He wasn't very pleased about it at first, but he's learned to adjust to it. He doesn't want to know what I'm doing and who I'm doing it with, but he knows that I do it. So that's kind of how I got into it. I kind of ramble on a little bit, but that's kind of a history. But since then, I've filmed with a lot of people. There's been some that I've enjoyed. There's been several that I've done repeats with. I do have somebody that I absolutely love to film with, and he's a great guy. But it's different. It's the difference between a studio porn and just for fans is studio is very very structured in a way that you do everything out of sequence. They tell you exactly what to do, and you know, like when I was filming with a guy, and I was the top at that point, and I was fucking nervous. Yeah, and they're like telling me what to do, and so we'll do it, and then they'll stop, and they're like, okay, now you do it again, but don't do that funny thing with your face, or don't say this, and so you have to do it again, but you do all these takes and takes and takes and takes, and you literally fuck in every position for like 3 hours, and then at the end of it, they're like, okay, now you do the money shot. So one studio, they were okay manufacturing the money shot, and the other one was like, you don't get paid unless you do the money shot. So the pressure was on, and it took me literally, I laid there and jacked for like 45 minutes before I was actually able to come. My dick was raw. But It was, I would say, studio porn is probably the most asexual thing you'll ever do. It's just not very sexual. It really is a performance. It's a lot of work. But Just for Fans and Only Fans is my favorite because you really can just put the camera up, let it roll, and just have sex and enjoy yourself. You really connect with some of them. Some of them is just a fuck, but some of them you really connect with, and it really comes out on the film, and it really shows. So I've had a lot of fun doing it. So I'll continue doing it.
I mean, I think, and I think the thing is, I mean, for me personally, but also I think just seeing trends in sort of pornography and stuff, is that I don't think people these days necessarily want to see this kind of studio kind of. They obviously do because there's obviously a market for it, but that kind of like personally, I don't like the sort of studio filmed. Everything's very shiny, everyone because I know that it's bullshit. You know, I want to see people like you said, like just put up a camera. I mean, I suppose if you know what you're doing with a phone, right? Because the worst thing is that when you have people who don't know what they're doing, you're like, it's just slightly off shot. Everything is slightly, and you're like, you know, trying to look like that's going to help you kind of find the shot. That's annoying. But I think for people who know what they're doing and people who know how to film stuff, it's the sort of more amateur feel of stuff is much more interesting, I think.
Right.
I think you're right. Like when it's more natural and not worrying about the light and the position, and even if you don't get to see every detail, still it lives like part of your imagination, and also like
yeah, because it's real, and it's that's what's sexy about it because it's real.
Unless you have the third person that holds the phone and
I've done that. I've had a pair that I filmed with, and one filmed while I played with one, and then the other one filmed while I played with the other. And then we just set the camera up on a tripod, and just all three went at it. But
also,
the funny thing about it that I found, the biggest difference between studio and platform is I actually put a inquiry out or a poll out on my Twitter one day because I was kind of curious what my fans wanted, and the question was, would you rather see me do a money shot or would you rather see me breeding? And it was overwhelmingly like 90% breeding.
Absolutely.
So it was ridiculous. I really thought it'd be closer to 50-50, and I was just like, wow, because people want it. I guess the old days, I say the old days, back when it was just studio porn, everybody was so used to seeing the money shot and seeing come turn people on. But if you really think about it, the intimacy that you see in actual filming amateur is that you get to see that passion. You get to see that uncut pieces where they're like talking to each other, communicating that you wouldn't see normally. And you get to see the intimacy of the breeding, where they actually come inside them. And you see the reaction of the bottom. And it's just so much more intense. And both of the actors get more into it and get more involved, and they put more into it, I think, because they're not being stopped and started and, oh, you have to do this and that. So they just do what comes naturally. It just feels more natural.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I get that. Also, no one has an attention span anymore to worry about that sort of shit. Like you'll film. I would guess, and I don't know. You'll know better. I would guess that if you put up even a 15-minute film up, it probably the first 2 minutes get seen, the middle 2 minutes, and the last 2 minutes are probably the ones that get seen. Like no one really cares about the stuff in the middle. They want to. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, and it's kind of funny. And it's kind of funny about the attention span because when I first started, I had like these 30, 45-minute videos that were like, I tried doing as professional as possible with this fancy beginning and all the credits and all that stuff. And then the film, and at the end, I just like, thank you for watching, blah, blah, and a little thing at the end. And I found out that nobody gave a shit about that stuff. And I kind of immediately, like now if I do like an hour and a half, 2 hours of filming, we can usually get about, 30, 40 minutes of usable footage out of it. And within that, we'll cut that down into like scene 1, 2, 3, 4, however many scenes you do, 10 minutes and throw them up. And that way you have not just one film that people can see. You have like 3 or 4 films that you can post at different, like this week, next month, whatever. And you can kind of sandbag them and roll it out a little bit. And you don't lose your followers because you really do after like the first 5-10 minutes. They're just like, oh, going on to the next guy.
Yeah.
So you try to get them and keep them as quickly as possible and make it count.
Well, and from a marketing point of view, like from a product point of view, like to get really kind of like commercial about it, you want to be putting out content all of the time, and that's not always that easy, So if you can put things down into a 6-minute video and have like one come out every week, because if someone's gonna pay you $5 or $10 or whatever a month, right, they need to get their money's worth, because otherwise why would they bother? They'll just do it for 1 month and then they won't bother. So if you can have something coming out every few days, even if it's the same video, that's okay, because people want to see new stuff. I don't want to see the same stuff. If Netflix didn't put anything up for
Right.
for 2 months, I'd be like, "Where's my money? Well, I want my money back."
Right. And going along with what you said, I've had subscribers that were with me at the beginning and then they canceled. And I've gone long enough that they'll resubscribe again later to see my new stuff. That way they can go take their money and go see somebody else. And
Yeah.
then they see that I post a bunch of shit. They'll come back and buy me for a month or two and see my new stuff. And it's kind of funny how as you go, at the beginning, you just have a lot of subscribe, cancel, subscribe, cancel, subscribe, cancel. And you start collecting these ones that just renew, put it on renew, and they keep renewing. And it gets to where it kind of adds up after a while. So the more you have, at the beginning, it's really kind of funny because I actually started out really cheap with my subscription price because I didn't have a lot on there because I just started. I didn't have a bunch of stuff sandbagged from I'd never really filmed before, so I didn't have anything to put on there to make it full yet. And as I've gone and added more, I started making my subscription go up a little bit more because there's a lot more content for them to browse through. And I didn't feel as guilty. I didn't feel like I was ripping them off by doing that.
Yeah. No, I think that's fair enough. It's kind of, it might be fun, but it is a business at the end of the day. And you've got to
Yeah,
think
it
of it.
is.
You've got to think
It
of it
is.
like that.
Yeah, it's a lot of work too. It's a lot of work.
Yeah. And I think that yeah, because you're building a brand, at the end of the day, that's what
Yeah.
you're doing. I'm
It is
surprised.
a brand. Definitely have to build a brand, and mine is cowboy.
I was going to say, where's your hat? I was going to say,
I didn't wear it today. I wanted to look a little different. I wanted people to see that I actually do have a nice set of hair.
You do have good hair. You do have good hair. To be fair.
Ouch. Both of you. Ouch.
Huh? Oh, sorry. Yeah. I like bald heads.
Obviously.
Yeah. I used to always say hair should be everywhere apart from your head. That's
Right.
if you've got hair everywhere apart from your head, then I'm probably going to be interested.
How do you find people to work with, to collaborate with?
So, oh my God, there's so many ways. I've actually had guys come up at the bar and be like, "Are you Jesse Colt?" And I'm like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Hey, I'd love to film with you." I'm like, "Sure, let's do it." Um, on Twitter, you can just direct message somebody behind the scenes, somebody you see and you see that they're in town or local or even in LA or somewhere close or making a trip here. You can catch them. Actually, on Just for Fans, there's a thing called Finder, and you go on there and it has all of the actors that are models on Just for Fans. And it tells you how close they are, so you can use that. And then again, there's just word of mouth and just like I filmed with somebody and they're like, "Hey, I filmed with this guy the other day. It was great. He'd probably be your thing." And I was like, "Sure." And I contacted him. It worked out. There's any kind of way. I mean, it's literally like finding a trick almost because you can do it online. You can do it by mouth at the bar. However, I mean, it's like finding a regular trick. The only thing is there's a lot less. Well, I'd say that there's a lot less models than there are actual tricks because most guys don't want to film, but that's growing. It's gotten to where a lot of people, especially here in Palm Springs, have their Twitter and Just for Fans and OnlyFans. But they some of them don't show their face. Some of them are just on there just to jack off, and they get subscribers to watch them jack off. But there's not as many that actually do the full Monty and have full sex.
Oh, really? In
Yeah,
Palm Springs?
Well, in Palm Springs, there's a lot. But
I was going to say, because...
Yeah. But there's a lot of people. I always thought that it was just people, full porn. But there's a lot of people that just jack off in their bed and that's what people subscribe to and that's what they get off on. But everybody has their taste too, which is interesting because when I started, I was a total bottom and I bottomed for all of them. And in October, I went to Claw, which is a leather event in LA, and ran into this guy from Colorado. And we had agreed, we met online on I think it was Twitter, actually. I'd seen his stuff and hit him up. And we'd agreed that we were going to flip at this event because he was going to be there too. So we got there and we did it and flipped. And I really enjoyed it. And I put it up and got a big response from it. And I was like, well, that's kind of interesting. So I started, I did a couple of polls on Twitter asking people what they wanted to see. And people were, again, overwhelmingly, they would prefer to see me breed somebody than watch me get bred. So I started doing top, and now I will still do a bottom, but I do top 95% of the time, and it makes it so much easier to find models because there are so many bottoms out there and very few tops. It's a lot easier for me to find a bottom. And it's kind of funny because I actually went on, I think it was Sniffy's one day, which is a cruise app, and just put out there, I was like, I needed to film because I hadn't filmed in a while, and I thought, okay, I'll put this out there, and just put an ad out that, hey, I'm a top, I'm filming. If you're interested, let me know. And it was like ping, 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 ping. I couldn't keep up with the request, and finally it was like, hey, can I do you next week? And we kind of, there was some of them couldn't even reply to. There was some that I did and was like, hey. I can't right now because I've got so many other requests. And so I finally found a couple and I got a lot of filming out of that. It was really interesting. But some of them were fine just showing their face and some of them weren't. But the thing about it is, I found out is, since they're not models on Just for Fans and OnlyFans, I really couldn't put them on there. I mean, I could, but it's a big rigmarole to get their consent and everything to put them up. But Twitter doesn't really require that. So I was able to use those as like advertisements and little teasers to get my people over to subscribing to Just for Fans and OnlyFans. Yeah. So being a top has definitely helped my career in porn quite a bit.
And do you feel like it transfers into your personal life? So like if you were so do you top in real life or you don't top in real life, you only bottom?
Well, I always joke with my friends that I'm a top on film, and for pleasure, I'm a bottom.
Fair enough.
And I really do prefer bottom, but this experience has caused me to realize that I love top. You know, when I was younger, I always was into older daddies, and they were wanting to top me. So every partner that I've had has been a top. So I just kind of fell into that role and was fully comfortable with it and totally forgot how wonderful it does feel to top. And whenever I did this guy from Colorado in LA, I was like, wow, I totally am missing out on some wonderful stuff here. So I kind of leave, since it is so hard to find tops in real life, I top in film and bottom in real life. And it works out so much better.
Cool. Yeah. Cool. So we are going to take a little mini break.
Okay.
And then we're going to come back, and then we have some questions for you from other people, and we are going to ask Jesse everything. And we are back with the wonderful Jesse Colt, who's been telling us all about how he got into the adult industry. So yeah, we have some questions from people and things they want to know. And we're just going to ask you the questions and see what you think. Okay?
Okay.
It's nothing too dodgy. Don't worry. I don't think we've filtered. No. Cool. So, question number 1 is, what's your favourite scene or shoot that you've done, and why?
Oh, wow. Should I mention names?
It's up to you. You can.
He won't mind. My favorite shoot was with Coach Mike 8x8, and I don't know if you know much about him, but his brand is he likes coaching people on sex, and so he'll find a bottom and he fucks them, but while he's fucking them, he's talking to the people on the camera on this is what I'm doing to him now, and it's really kind of fun because he's having the conversation, but then he'll lean down and get really personal with you too in the meantime. And he's called Coach Mike 8x8 because he is 8x8, and it was the thickest cock I've ever had in my life. And I learned so much about myself because I always thought of myself as a size queen. And when we're chatting, setting it all up, I was looking at him like, oh, I can't wait to take that. Oh, yeah, with ease, that's no problem. And he gets here and he pulls it out and gets it hard and slaps it in my hand. And I was like, I don't know if I can do this or not. And he's like, it's okay. I will talk you through it. And he totally talked me through it. He knew exactly what he was doing, opening me up and getting me ready. And it was amazing. I mean, I can't even, there's no words to explain what it was like. But and afterwards he's such a nice guy, and it comes across on film, but you never know because people can act really good. But afterwards we had these great conversations, and he's just an amazing guy, and we kind of kept in contact, and he's given me a few tips and stuff on things to do. But I would say it was him because with him, it was intimate sex and not just filming, and it came out on the camera so well. And I've put some out there, but he's put several out there, little clips and things to advertise, and some of them made 150, 200,000 views, and
Wow.
well, actually, all of them I think are over 100,000. But I filmed with him twice, and it's just that was probably my favorite I've ever done, just because of who it was and the way that he treated me, and it was a really good connection. I've connected with others, but I would say he's probably the most memorable.
Just this is a question for me, but how does it work with when you're collaborating? Like, do you come to some kind of agreement about what's going to be put out and how it's going to work and how many you're going to do versus how many they're going to do and you know, because it's had to be a mutual agreement, right? You know,
Yes, it is all worked out beforehand because everybody has their brand, and if your brands clash or don't work together, it isn't going to work. You're going to waste your time because I mean, doing these collaborations is a lot of work. You literally have to set things up, get everything ready before they even. Well, it takes time to find somebody. And once you find somebody, you have these talks and arrange everything and figure out what's going to happen, and then you get wherever I'm hosting or they're hosting, somebody has to prepare for it. I mean, even if you're not hosting, you still have to prepare for it. I mean, bottoms have to prepare themselves, obviously. Tops have to get themselves in a mindset. Some use Trinex or, whatever, Cialis. So you actually there's a lot of preparation. And then when you meet, there's a lot of paperwork. You have to fill out all the consent forms and model release forms and all that if you're doing it legally and trying to be as legal and above the board. So there's all that, and then by the time you get ready to actually film, you're kind of like, oh, I'm kind of out of the mood. So you have to kind of work yourselves both back up into the mood again, and then you have to set the cameras up and get everything ready. You have to kind of test everything, make sure everything, figure out, oh, we're going to do this first, and then over here we'll do the sling into the bed, and then the fuck bench or whatever. And then once that's all worked out, then you go for it. You just kind of turn the cameras on and just have sex. So it's a lot of work. I kind of chase a rabbit now, and I don't know where I'm at. What was the original question? I'm sorry.
Do you have the same movie, you and him, your partner, and like you post the same video, right, or you have like different videos each?
So usually both parties have their own cameras and film, and most of the time before you part ways, you airdrop them to each other, so both parties have the full video from both of them. I've had it where they wanted to use only their footage and do their editing, and they do, and that's fine. I'm fine with whatever. I'm really easy to get along with. Whatever works. The only thing I'm not good with is if they don't tag me in it and give me credit for anything, or if it's like on a site like Raw Fuck Club or something like that, they don't share their proceeds with me, because I believe that if you're collaborating together, it's a joint venture, you should share all proceeds. And I haven't run into any issues with that. But yeah, we both shoot our own footage, and sometimes like you may thought you hit the video button and you're having sex for an hour and it's amazing, and then you go back and look and your cameras went dead, or it didn't film it, or you forgot to hit the button, and all you have is theirs or mine, and they lost theirs. So it's like, it just kind of depends on what happens, but usually you share your video and your footage. Then you just, as far as editing, I've had guys that were fine using my edit. So I always like to edit. Every time I film, I will edit something and come up with something. I'm willing to share it with them if they want it. I've had guys that only use mine. I've had guys that they did theirs and I use theirs as well. And there's been times where which gives you even more footage and stuff to post, is they'll take both of our footage and make their edit, and I'll take both the footage and make my edit, and we just tag team release it so it looks like different films when it really isn't, but it does feel like a different film. So you get a little bit more stretch out with that. So I mean, so to answer your question, it's just whatever you agree on, and it's pretty easy to agree on. I mean, there's some that are like, I will only do it this way, and I'm fine with that. There's some people that won't bow down to that. They want to do it their way. So I just try to keep it easy and just be agreeable with everybody.
Yeah. Is there something you want to do in front of the camera that you haven't done yet?
Oh my. Wow, that's a loaded question. It's really kind of funny because the more I do this, the more I kind of am interested in doing some kink. I
Okay.
am not sure what right now that would be because I'm still kind of personally exploring my own kink side privately. I think whenever, oh, well, I can't say that. I was gonna bring up another, I was gonna bring up another scenario, but a month ago I actually did it and was actually shocked that I did it and loved it. But I think kink.
You can tell us about that later. It's okay. You can tell us about that when we get off the.
Okay.
We'll
Well,
stop
I mean, I can
recording.
say it now if you want to hear it. It just doesn't really answer your question. Basically, I'm as gay as they come. I like dick. I do not like females. I was a gold star gay. Had never been in a vagina my entire life. And about a month, it's been a month and a half, 2 months ago, um, I ran into this boy from San Diego, cute little fucking Latino boy with tattoos, gorgeous, and he was female to male trans.
Mm.
And I was so intrigued and hit him up, and such a nice guy. And we filmed. It was my very first, and I was excited. I was still excited that I did it. It was an amazing experience. I would actually, I would love to do it again. And it's really opened my perspective and the way who I thought I was, because I always thought it would be gross and I would not be able to go through with it. I would stay hard, and it was actually an amazing experience. And I'm so glad that I did it. So it's
Mm.
like I'm doing things that I would normally not do in my life, my sex life, because I feel a little bit more. I feel like I have more of a license to explore and do more because I owe it to my fans. I owe it to my subscribers. I want to show them new things and I want to watch them grow with me. And I mean, if you look at my Twitter, um, I believe my tagline is Midwest raised daddy, or no, Midwest farm boy. How's it? Midwest farm boy, something about growing into his daddyhood in Palm Springs or something like that. And it's so true because I've really branched out and I've really grown and learned things that I never thought I would do. I love to do. And there's some things that I thought I would love to do and I don't do them anymore. So it's really interesting. It's really kind of helped me sexually. It's helped me be more open. However, I'm one of these people that like I go to a pool party. If I go to a bathhouse or something like that, I'm shy. I never get laid, so I don't do them anymore. I'm that guy that sits in the corner and nobody touches. Or I go to a pool
Really?
party here in Palm Springs, and there's lots and lots and lots of naked pool parties here with play, and I go to them, and I can't participate. I don't know why I can't do it, but you get me a top or somebody that I find attractive, and put me in a room with them and turn the camera on. I'm fine broadcasting it across the world, and I don't know what in my mind causes dis that difference, but it's there.
So you're like,
But it is causing me, filming is causing me to come out of my shell a lot more, and I am starting to do things that I didn't think I could do or didn't want to do.
yeah. Look, I think there's something. It's a different kind of exhibitionism, right? There's one kind of exhibitionism which is actually physically seeing somebody in front of you getting kind of aroused by the fact that you're
Right,
there doing something, and that can
right,
be a kind of, that can be a term, but it's a very different kind of thing to think that somebody after the fact might be doing that, and that's kind of,
right.
it's a different kind of thing, but it's I think it's probably still exhibitionism in a way, just in a different way. And I can understand being shy doing one thing, but not shy doing the other thing, because
Yeah.
there is a disconnect in terms of physicality.
Right. Well, I think I have actually kind of analyzed it a bit in my own mind and tried to ask myself why I do that. And I think the answer is rejection. Because in real
Mm.
life, you don't know these people, you're just meeting them, and you have that fear that if you hit on them or touch them, they're going to reject you, which has been happened a lot to me at bathhouses and spas. And that's why I don't go. And even at
Yeah.
pool parties and stuff, you don't know if they're going to be attracted. And the worst thing, everybody's biggest fear is to be rejected in front of a group of people. It's embarrassing. But on film, it's prearranged. You know they're interested. You know what you're going to do. You can just do it and not have to worry about that. You can let that wall
Yeah.
down and just let it flow.
You
So
know
it's
that.
kind of a psychological thing. It really is. And people that think that porn is bad, I think they're bad. They're closed-minded because porn is a wonderful thing. It's an art. It's the way people express themselves. Um, there's a lot of new laws supposedly with this Project 2025 supposed to come out if Trump wins the election,
What's that?
and
I don't know what
they're
that
gonna.
is.
Well, it's a big problem right here in the United States that you know who President or Trump is, and he's run for president,
I've heard
and
of him.
there's this Christian group that's done this Project 2025 that's going to take the United States back 100 years, like where women are going to be subservient, and it's a bad thing.
So Handmaid's Tale, basically.
Yeah, it is. Everybody's comparing it to Handmaid's Tale. It's exactly like Handmaid's Tale. We're one step away from Handmaid's Tale.
Wow.
And it scares everybody, but one of the things is they're going to ban porn. That's one of the goals of Project 2025 is to ban porn. And I'm a firm believer that people's sexuality, I mean, there's basic needs in life: food, water, shelter, and sex, intimacy. You have to have intimacy because everybody desires it. Everybody craves it. And when you lock people into this little, you can do it only missionary, you can't do it out of the bedroom, and this is the way you do it, it's the only way you can do it, and you put rules on it, it stifles people, and their desires that are deep down inside them get all bent out of shape, and things come out in weird, probably inappropriate ways. That's when I believe rape and molestation and shit like that happens. And I believe that to express your sexuality with yourself and others is a healthy thing. You know, I believe, and their argument's always, well, some kids are going to get a hold of that. Well, parents, take care of your kids. Be a parent and don't let them see that. That's not my responsibility to keep it out of the hands of your kids. You're the parent. You take care of it. And I know that's cold and hard-nosed, but that's the way it is. That's life.
It's not. I'm responsible for your children.
Right. Well, and I should not have my right to free speech, however I choose to do that, or right to express myself, be stifled because your kid's watching porn. Come on. That's your problem.
It is, absolutely. That's the problem, is I think with everything, is that it's like it's making everyone else responsible for your shit. You know, like it's not my job. It's not my job to take care of your children. And it's not my job to censor things from your children or to teach them anything. You teach them what you like, but you also don't get to teach my children anything you want. I get to teach my children. You get to teach your children, and just fuck off and leave us alone.
Right. And it goes across the board too. I mean, even with my followers and subscribers, I've posted some stuff that somebody was like, I wish you wouldn't have done that, or that's gross, or why did you do that? And I'm like, you don't have to subscribe to me, you know. Do it if you want, but you don't have to watch that video. If you see it, turn it off. I'm not making you watch it.
Absolutely.
This is for other people. I try to do things that appeal to the majority, but sometimes I do things that only appeal to a specific targeted group. Not everybody wanted to see me fuck a trans person. And you know what? That's fine. That's your choice, but it wasn't mine, and I'm going to do it because there are people that do want to see me do that.
And also, you want to do it. You want to do it. So it's just, you know.
Right. So it's just like everybody has their own choices and their own opinions and their own abilities to make their choices. And they should exercise that. But don't feel that because a choice you make that you have the right to infringe on somebody else's right to make their choices or their choices.
So you kind of touched on this before, but someone asked, what can I do if I want to collaborate with you?
Hit me on Just for Fans, or actually probably the easiest way would be to find me on Twitter and just send me a direct message. A lot of the stars, they get kind of in their heads and narcissistic to a degree, and they don't let their fans message them because they don't want to take the time. I'm too busy to talk to you, kind of thing. I don't have mine blocked, so if you get on Twitter, you can send me a message, and I almost always reply back. If I don't, it's because either it gets lost in the other ones, or I just don't get to it. But I try to. I mean, I sit here and watch TV in the evenings, and I'm answering fan mail and talking to people and asking people, you know, what do you want? You know, even like if somebody subscribed, they get a little notification from Just for Fans. They'll say so and so subscribed, and I always try to send them a message and say, hey, thank you for your support. Let me know if there's anything you'd like to see me do, and I'll see what I can do about it. And I've had some really weird requests. I've had some people. I had one guy that wanted to pay me for a private film to do Vor. I think it was called Vor, and it's whenever he has this fantasy of being eaten by a giant, and he wanted me to film this video in such a manner that it looked like I was a giant and going to eat him, and it was specifically for him. He was going to pay me for it, and I thought about it, and I almost did it, but I thought, you know, whenever I sell this to him, he owns the rights to that now, and there's nothing I can do. He can do anything he wants with it. And I don't like the idea of somebody owning my footage. I own my footage, and I can take it down if I want or whatever. But I do not want to go outside that bubble of copyright. You know? it's mine. I don't want to be at a loss for that. So
Yeah.
So that's my answer, I guess.
Cool.
In a long roundabout way.
And okay, so what's coming up for Jesse Colt next?
Oh my gosh, actually I have nothing on the books right now. So you people watching, if you want to film with me, hit me up because I don't have anything. I've kind of taken a break. March and April were busy months for me where I did a lot of filming. I mean, literally every day. It got to the point where I had to actually stop because I was doing trimix so much and you can't do it more than a couple of days in a row or you can have damages. So I kind of stopped doing it. And then I geared back up a little bit and started releasing. And I had released every week for a couple months. And I just kind of got burnt out. I have a full-time job. And in addition to that, seeking out somebody to film with, doing the actual setup and filming, the editing, and then all of the release, setting up all the releases. It's a 30 to 40 hour a week job, and it takes a lot of time. And it'll really wear you down really quick if you have another job. So I've chosen to I've taken this last month off. I'm hoping to get geared back up. And of course, as you know, it's 120 degrees out here. So it's hard to get anybody to come out of their house. So yeah. So I'm hoping to gear back up and get things going again here in a little bit. Cool. I've got a couple of prospects, but we'll see if they come through.
Great. So tell us where everyone can find you on all of your social media.
Okay, so you can find me on Twitter, which obviously is not a paid platform. It's Jesse Colt SoCal, the @ Jesse, Jesse Colt SoCal, all one word. And I'm also the same name on Just for Fans, OnlyFans, and just joined Raw Fuck Club. So I'm on all those. I'm trying to get on Pornhub, but it's a lot of paperwork and it takes some time to get registered. So hopefully I'll be on there within the next month or so and start posting stuff there. But I'm primarily on Twitter, Just for Fans and OnlyFans. That's @ JESSE COLT SOCAL, like as in SoCal. So Jesse Colt SoCal, all one word.
Cool. And you can find us on social media as well. We're on Instagram, Threads, and TikTok. It's @ Bear Cub the Beast LV. You can find us on YouTube and Facebook by searching Bear Cub and the Beast. You can email us at bearcubandthebeast@gmail.com or go to our website, bearcubandthebeast.com. Thank you for watching, everyone. Don't forget to click, subscribe, follow, like, all of those things. We have episodes coming out fresh every other Thursday. And and that's it from us. So thank you, Jesse. Thank you very much. We can't wait to see you in a few months. It's not long now. It's only a few months.
I know, right? We're getting there.
And and we're looking forward to seeing you. And thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. You too. Good to speak with you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.